Grave, again from Latin, which means heavy. Grave means it's a heavy subject. It is. It requires serious thought. Grave matter is, is a matter that requires serious thought. Grave situation means it needs lot of deliberation. It has to be thought through properly. Grave has got another meaning, which is the place of burial. That is death, related to death, right? Death is always heavy. Grave comes to all. What does that mean? Death comes to everyone. In Sanskrit also we have a very famous statement. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityuhu. This is taken from Bhagavad Gita. What does this mean? Jatasya, for whoever that is born, dhruvam mrityuhu. Death is certain. जातस्य ध्रुवं मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मात् अपरिहार्याद्धे न त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि. That is the complete statement said by Krishna to Arjuna. Because Arjuna is in a state of dilemma. He is complaining, I can't kill my brothers, my parents, my teachers, etc. etc. So he doesn't want to fight. Then Krishna says, for every living being, whoever that is born, death is certain. Whoever is dead, birth is again certain. So you don't need to worry about this thing. Right. Jatasi dhruvam mrityuhu dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. For the dead also, birth is certain. And you don't need to do anything here because that will anyway happen. Even if you don't kill them, they will anyway die. So he gives them this teaching. Gravitate. Like gravity. Gravity is the force that pulls everything downwards, right? Right. Gravitational force. What is gravitational force? It is force of the earth which will pull anything downwards. That's why things fall towards the earth, fall down. Similarly, gravitate. Something is drawn towards something. Almost, it feels like naturally. For example, two old people who are discussing. They start with something, and then slowly they move toward politics. So that is conversation gravitate toward politics. College friends are discussing. They start anywhere. They start with cricket or football, and ultimately they'll start discussing about their girls, the beautiful girls in their classes. So that is conversation gravitate towards girls. So gravitate is it should happen almost naturally. It feels like it is happening naturally. Drawn towards something. Aggravate. Grav is again heavy. Aggravate is something you are making it even heavier. If there is an injury or a problem, you are making it more severe. That is aggravate. Let's say you have a friend. Your friend just played a chess match against someone else and your friend lost. If you go and tell your friend, anyway you could have lost, then that is aggravating the injury. Your friend is already feeling the pain and you are saying, anyway you could have lost, you would have lost. That means you are increasing the pain. That is aggravating the injury. He went to play before the knee was healed, he aggravated the injury. He should not have played. But he played and the injury aggravated. Right, let's say now you are a good friend. You don't insult your friend. You don't make such statement. Instead, you say you are just unlucky. Next day or some other day, you will anyway win. You just need to practice a bit more. And you are giving such soothing statements. You are giving that empathy. You are showing that sympathy. That is alleviate. You are making it lighter. Lev. Lev is the root word here. Lev again in Latin means light. Alleviate is you are lightening the situation. You are making it less painful. You are helping your friend not to feel the pain. Similarly, elevate again from lev. Elevate means lift. Elevator is a lift. Elevation is kind of promotion. You're pushing someone up. You're lifting them up. Elevate. Then levitation. Levitation. This is also lifting, but it should look magical. Almost, it looks like it is defying gravity, defying gravitational force. Right, like a magician. Magician is doing some trick, and you feel someone, the magician is floating in the air. So that is defying gravity. So that's why it is levitation. So, like for example, there is a spiritual Mahasabha that is going, and because of the prayers, if they do something like some things are floating in the air, so that is levitation. Birds flying in the air, that is not levitation, because they are working hard, they are flapping their wings, they are working hard, and that's why they are flying in air. That is not levitation. Levitation is, it should seem it is magical. That is levitation. Levity, again, levity is also related to light. You are not serious about the situation, lack of seriousness. That is that is levity. When there is no seriousness, when you are making casual statements, that is levity. Let's say your friend just lost a semi-final match. Okay, the match is lost, or someone lost a semi-final match. If you go and tell, good, you don't need to play the final, you can take rest now. So that is levity, right? So the situation is a serious situation, and you are making a statement which is making fun of the situation without understanding the seriousness. If someone has lost a semi-final match, if you say good that they don't need to play the final match, that is levity, right? Liver is an instrument that is used to make, to lift a heavy object using lighter means. So that is liver is a small appliance or small instrument that used to lift a heavy object. So it actually makes it feel light. That's why it is liver. Here also it is liver, a form of liver, cantilever. So for example, this is a cantilever, right? It seems without support, it is floating in air. So this is a cantilever construction. This is Grand Canyon, and this is a very famous cantilever construction, right? Now let's get to another root word, which is mania. Mania is madness. Again in Latin, it is a mental illness also. Mania is related to mental illness also. Kleptomania. So there are some people who cannot control their desire to steal things. These people are called kleptomaniacs. So this is a serious mental illness. It looks funny, but they feel they feel very bad. Kleptomaniac people, they feel very bad because they cannot control. They know it is wrong, but they cannot control. So kleptomaniacs are those people who have that mental illness. Kleptocracy. So you know autocracy, you know democracy. Kleptocracy is the people, is the government which robs the people to, for their benefit, right? So whether the government is autocratic or democratic, it is generally kleptocratic, because all politicians more or less rob the people, whether it is an autocratic government or democratic government, right? So kleptocracy is government conducted by those who gain, who work for their personal gain at the expense of the people. Dipsomania. This is also a mania. This is also a mental illness. Dipso is thirst in Greek. So dipsomania is generally used when people are uncontrollable, and they can't stop their craving for alcohol. Dipsomania is more a technical term or more a medical term. That's how a doctor calls an alcoholic dipsomania. So it is a very mild term. It doesn't sound like an abuse. Whereas, let's say how a wife calls her husband. If wife calls her husband as a drunkard, bloody drunkard, or a useless drunkard, or whatever. Like, those are abuses. Dipsomania is not an abuse, it's more of a technical term for this illness. Okay, now I'll teach you some other terms which are more vulgar or more insulting for drunkards. For example, sot. Sot is a guy who has become very dull because of continuous drinking. Lush. Lush is a habituated drinker. Wino. This fellow drinks a lot of cheap liquor. Souse, boozer, guzzler, tipper, tosspot, drunkard, boozhound. These are the abuses given by a wife. Dipsomania is the term used by a doctor. Now let's get into some other abuses. Egoist and egotist. Ego, by the way, ego means I. So there is a slight difference. Egoist and egotist. Egoist, he thinks he's better than other people. But egotist, he talks a lot also. He not only just thinks, he talks about himself a lot also. So egoist believes in egoism. Egoism is when they feel that people are motivated by their self desires. Everyone is doing some activity for their benefit. That is egoism. So egoist people, they believe in the doctrine that people are doing for their own well-being. Egocentric is the next level word. Egocentric is more of selfish person who is more concerned about his individual welfare than about the society. He doesn't need to be ego. He doesn't need to talk about himself, but he is more selfish. That is egocentric. And even more next level word, even more dangerous is egomania. So when it comes to mania, it almost has become a madness. Who is extremely egocentric, is extremely concerned about himself and is not concerned about the society. That fellow is extremely egocentric. It has become a madness now. So it is egomania. Megalomania is even bigger. He thinks he is at the center of the universe. It is a mental disorder. He believes everyone should worship him. He believes he is God. So that is megalomaniac. So generally, this is used for rulers or for people in leadership position who have grand visions about themselves, who feel they are omnipotent. That's why it is megalomania. Megalomaniac. That person is called megalomaniac. Egomaniac. Got it? Cool. Thank you.